Welcome to Zentangle Project Pack number 14. This is day 1. My name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and we're going to work on this new project pack with all kinds of quotes in there and enjoy all the different things. And this project, this particular first page, we're going to work with. It says, allow your pen to soothe your soul. And we have all these pens to soothe our soul on this particular page. And we're going to use all of them. So we're going to start out with a tangle called Num Repus. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of a heads up on this one, if you haven't already done it. We're going to start with a series of S shapes that sort of almost intersect or interlock, but they don't quite touch each other. They start right to the middle of the previous one. And you can practice that a little bit before you get onto your page if you like. But we're going to just strip a ribbon right down the middle of that section, not touching. We're using that gray.
Right, you're using the gray jelly roll.
The gray jelly roll, which is, I love this pen. It's really awesome. And you can see I'm just boldly going right down the middle without touching the edges and just making these beautiful S shapes, almost touching each other, but not quite. And we're going to go right behind this tile where our quote is. And so you're going to, like in a hollabar manner, go behind this tile like you're pretending and come out the other end somehow. Doesn't really matter if it's exact, but...
And that's your quote.
That's my quote. I wrote that, yes. Because I actually do this all the time. The pen actually does this for me in so many ways. I'm just hoping this for you. So now we're going to take the same pen and we're going to connect these two. But you can see where I'm going here. We're going to take off and land from the top and just reach out almost to where it would connect with that other side. You can see it over and over. It almost connects, but then you stop.
So you've got a target there, the end of that other one. Yeah.
So
very simple shape.
Simple shape, beautiful lines, unexpected. We're asking you to do unexpected things that seem to make no sense at all, but you'll see that it makes perfect sense afterwards. This jelly roll is just wonderful to work with. I enjoyed it a lot.
And a nice light touch always.
Going behind your tile.
Nice.
I'm going to turn it around upside down and do exactly the same thing. Almost meeting at that point where it looks like it would make a leaf shape.
I like that idea of the pen soothing the soul, because when you use the pen, it's soothing, right?
It is. It so is.
When you create something.
It's so encouraging to me that everyone feels the same way as I do about how Zentangle makes you just feel so good. It's not just that it makes you an artist, it just makes you feel so great in such a simple way.
So just this wonderful also use of a tangle as a border.
I'm loving borders, and this one here is going to be more like a ribbon than a border.
Right.
Which you can remember maybe to use just going across the tile if you don't know where to start. You just go right across your tile and put a ribbon in for no reason at all except that, I felt like doing this particular tangle. So we're going to connect those two lines that seem to be just floating in the middle of nowhere and connect them in a way that with a S shape that's going in the opposite direction. So it's not really an S. It's
like a
opposite
mirrored S.
Yeah, a mirrored S, and it sort of connects it like in a linking mode. So it's a little bit longer, but you'll see what we're going to do with it after that.
And you'll notice that each one of them isn't exactly like the other ones. So it's the principle of the pattern.
So now you can see, oh, it is a magic thing. Look at that. Just by doing that, you can connect these shapes, and they're going to be, they're like a piece of jewelry. Like you almost feel like it's going to move and wiggle around the way it's
they're
connected,
interlocking,
like an interlocking thing. So with the Micron PN, black, we're going to fill those in. Look at it, it just pops off the page.
It's another example of that contrast of line and solid.
I like to put a little bit of solid color or solid ink in all of my works, just for contrast, like Rick was saying. And we're going to put a nice black aura around here to have it pop off the page. This is always so much fun because you don't have to think about this at all. Aura just takes you where it wants to take you.
There's that deliberateness of stroke when you do an aura.
Both sides, turn your page. And you turn it mostly so that you can actually see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So your pen isn't covering up what you're auraing.
This is a really great thing about Zentangle, because in most art forms, you don't have that possibility of turning things upside down every time you want to make a stroke.
That looks great.
So far, it looks
right?
great, right? Going to cap our pens.
And with all the various different pens, it makes sense to keep them capped with the same cap.
So with this turquoisey colored pen, we're going to make just like a background behind the Num Repus. And you can see I'm kind of wiggling these lines, and you'll see I'll even leave a space every once in a while, and it's almost like a highlight and a texture. This is from my days of illustration, and you would have seen this in old vintage illustrations that were done on like not lithographs, but etchings,
woodcut.
engravings, woodcuts. And this is how they would add texture to the backgrounds.
And with the gel pen, just you can see she's changing the pressure and the distance from the paper ever so, and each line has such great character.
This is fun to do. It's not difficult. It has such a wonderful feeling, and it's so what's the word I want to say? Textural, but it also really looks like you know what you're doing. Doesn't it? It's like such a simple thing to put in the background, and yet who would have thought of doing that, right?
And when you turn your booklet around or your paper around, the gel takes a little bit longer to dry, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, be aware of that.
But you can really see that sense of repetition and how it contributes to the pattern.
So I'm going a little quickly here, but you can take your time and really just enjoy this.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole point. Right. Each stroke. The point is not to get it done. Well, I mean, you want to get it done, but the point is not to, I got to work through this. And
see the texture with the little dots?
Beautiful, yeah.
The dots just do something that unexpected here.
I love it.
How cool is this?
But wait, there's more.
There's more. So with the new Micron 10, this is the first time we've worked with these pens, and it's a great tip. It's got a lot of strength and everything. I love working with this. And what we're going to do is we're going to not really aura, but we're going to go over that edge with this bold, crazy black number 10, not to be confused with the 01, everybody.
Right. And you're using a similar style of that. I love how you're doing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, giving it a little bit of texture and not like a straight line. Straight lines are overrated in Zentangle.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
like those.
that's
I
right.
like
You
those.
like straight lines. So you can see now this is starting to really jump off the page.
And I like how the black contrasts with the printed lines on the page.
Mm-hmm.
So these may be places that you will be inspired to write something as well.
Right. So we're going to go around that tile that was printed there. And there's a reason for this. We're going to work along with that as a part of your design.
Mm-hmm. So this is a really great example of how to incorporate something and using the principle of aura and holobaugh.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we teach, we always teach crescent moon, which is teaching aura, and holobaugh, which is drawing behind, because it's just something that is used in so many tangles in Num Repus, that the whole idea of drawing parts of it behind.
Num Repus was announced at our Zen again, and it was the supermoon.
Right.
And so the supermoon backwards is Num Repus. So now we're going back to the PN. Cap your other pen, your 10, and we're going to go back to this one. And now we're going to aura it.
But a little bit further away. So
Right.
auras can be close in or they can be nice and wide.
So we're going to aura around the square. But we're not going to aura over the Num Repus. We're going to go behind the Num Repus. This is very important on this particular situation here.
And turning your booklet, turning your tile makes that quality of stroke similar no matter what direction it's going.
And then stopping again at the ribbon. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm putting like 2 beads and then kind of almost going over those lines when it's appropriate. Sort of making them almost disappear. And actually it does. After you see the whole thing and you shade it and everything,
Yeah.
they sort of do disappear.
And you can see how they're really nestled right up against each other and overlapping that outer line.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I see what you're doing there.
Oh. And now another little tiny aura just for some character and for fun because we can. And again, going behind that ribbon. You can see where I'm going here.
So using auras around different elements is very, very impactful to make each item stand out. You can see that how that aura around Num Repus allowed that green line to set itself apart from it.
So this I added just for fun because it kind of gives an edging to the ribbon. And I used to work in the fabric industry, and a lot of ribbons had this kind of edging, and it's just so fun, you know.
Yeah.
I had to do it. So it's just putting in these little e's,
Very teeny tiny.
little tiny scripty e's.
And just repeating it. So of course that would go over that.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
So now there's that edging, it's almost a grosgrain ribbon with an edging. Yeah.
Right.
So here we're going in with our beautiful Zentangle pencils, and we're going to shade in very specific ways. Now I want this ribbon to appear like it's going through two pieces of paper and holding this tile in place. Wow, just right there. There you
Right.
go. There it is, right there. It's going behind the tile and doing some magic, some optical illusion
So
stuff.
it's like threaded right through the tile, or there's two layers and it's pasted over.
Two layers,
Yeah.
yep. Look at that. How fun is
Yeah.
that, right?
And then we'll just lift that up off the paper. Again, notice how she's doing that on the side of her
Yeah,
pencil.
very sad. Not too dark, but no, I think I'm just putting that on one side.
So we love quotes here, and we really went through Maria's quote book and looked for things that would be a nice inspiration for all of the.
Okay, so watch this. This is
Yeah.
like the coup de resistance, right? This is with our handy dandy tortillon, and it has just a little bit of pencil already on there. And look what this is doing. So we're going to like mimic that ribbon, like it's making the paper fold up or wrinkle.
Just mold to it, yeah.
Right. So I'm picking up some more, and I'm going right behind where the ribbon is, not on top of the ribbon, but right to the side of where the ribbon would be.
It's almost like it's a thick ribbon, and we really pasted those pieces together.
Right. And this is the optical illusion that it will create. How cool is
Right?
that, right? How fun. And again, with the tortillon, just on its own, we'll put some character into every other one of those little links in the chain.
Yeah, it's amazing how much graphite stays on the tortillon and how well it works on this paper.
Right.
Nice. Very subtle, but really nice.
Ha!
Right?
There you go. I have too much fun on this
Right.
project. Yeah.
Always a little more shading.
And feel free to add other things that you think should be there, like, she should have done this or she should have done that. Well, go for it and make yours different than what mine is. Maybe add some colors that maybe I hadn't thought of, or things that are in your palette.
And speaking of colors, since we think of tangles as colors, this large Noom Repus is large enough to put tangles inside those links as well.
You're right.
That's one of the advantages of starting something really large, because it becomes effectively like a string to put something in. That's really nice ribbon,
I want some ribbon like that.
right?
I don't know what I would do with it, but I kind of like it.
Or you put it in a book with a really nice quote.
Or some washi tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could put it in a book with some quotes. Wow, there you go. How fun is that? Just with a pen
Right?
and a pencil.
And each time you do it, it'll be different. And everybody that is working on this is going to be creating something that is different. And it's even if you're doing the same thing, it's going to come out different. And that is as it should.
And let that happen.
Yeah.
And appreciate that happens. That's the big deal. Appreciate anything that you do yourself.
Because, the whole, we keep saying this, but the objective is not that you should draw like us, but that you should draw like you.
How fun. That was fun. I had a great time with that.
So enjoy this. We'll be going through most of the pages in this book in this session.
Oh, this is the first one I did. You could see I did it a little bit differently, and it got a little complicated. I wasn't sure, and so I went back and forth. But that's another way you can hold that tile in
Right.
place.
So thanks for joining us in this Project Pack series and this first day, and we will see you soon for day 2.
See you later.
Bye now.
Bye.